Hey there, today I'm going to walk you through a quick step-by-step scenario of how to run a group of prospects for a wealth screening in ResearchPoint. Just a little side note, a group of prospects is considered anywhere where there's two or more prospects together in a group. Otherwise, they would be considered individual one-off searches. So the first thing we need to do in this two-step process is build the group of prospects. So we're going to go up to Analysis here and to Information Library. From Information Library, we're going to add an ad hoc query, and we're going to use a constituent query because we're looking for a group of constituents here. Now, once we do that, my sample database doesn't have a ton of data, so I'm just going to use address, and I'm going to look for individuals that live in the state of New York. So I'm going to just take this and drag it up to the top right corner. And again, I wanted to use New York, so I'm just going to type in New York. There it comes. Okay. Now, just to give you a quick scenario here or quick description of what I'm doing here. First thing we do, click on addresses. Then we find from there, it goes a little bit deeper into this middle section. And then we drag it to the top right because that's the filters. The bottom right is the fields of display. If you're going to use this query, export it, any of that, you'll want to put some more details in this bottom right section. And what's cool is you can actually just drag that stuff down if you want to. You can have a lot of other options. Now, because you're a client and you probably have some data in there, one common query or other things you might want to look for maybe is potentially giving to my organization. Now, with giving to my organization, you'll click here and you'll see all these options: first gift, largest gift, latest gift, etc. I'm going to use total giving, right? If I were you, I would go into total giving and I would say maybe greater than or equal to, I don't know, $1,000 or $500, just depending on where you're at and what you're looking for. There's a whole slew of other information that comes over either from Razor's Edge or standalone. Now that I've done that, I don't need to set or sort any group options, so I'm good there. Preview results, just to make sure there's some names in here. There are 66 records, so this query will work for this example. Now, I want to set the save options. Now, I'm just going to call this New York residents, just to keep this simple. Now, very important, what we want to do is create a selection here and also show the selection in Query Designer. Now, by checking those boxes, that's going to allow us to access this in part 2 of this very important process, and that is actually going out to the prospect area and grabbing them as what we would call a group. So now that we have this set, I'm going to go ahead and hit save and close. Well, I already saved one of these, so I'm going to call this New York Residents 2. You can see I get very creative here with my naming. Now the next step is to go up to prospects here, and we're going to look for that. So if you already have a list set up, you can go through here and grab one of those lists. So this would be kind of skipping over that first step. If you already have a query set up, you're already good, you know who you want to screen, just go here and identify that group. Otherwise, we're going to actually go ahead and add this. And again, you have the option to kind of build it right through here, which is certainly an option, by going to giving or by going to biographical information, etc. Now, because I did this, I'm going to call this, again, New York residents. Now, there should be 2 because I just did this earlier. Here we go. I'm going to save this, and we're going to call this NY residents. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and save that. So now we've saved that. Here's your group, and pretty simple. You just go up here to Screen List, click here, and now it's going to go ahead and screen that if I hit yes. Now, I don't need to run it, even though I have 300 million group screenings left. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. But otherwise, you would click yes, and it would screen all of this data, and you would notice the last screening date would be right here as an update. Thanks, and hope this was helpful.